Today, let us take a look at the new Jira Service Management template. Now, Jira Service Management was announced a couple of weeks back, and I want to spend some time today looking at the template. When you create a new Jira Service Management type of project, you now have a template, and I believe apart from just the rename of Jira Service Desk to Jira Service Management, I think there are new features, and these new features are definitely in the right direction because these features will let you integrate Jira Service Desk, or I should say Jira Service Management, with other tools, especially Opsgenie. And to be honest, I don't really know how it works, how it will work, and I want to, of course, learn, and I want to share my experience. So when you create a new Jira Service Management type of project, you of course have the option to create a project with a template. So there is a template. So there are templates, and I made video talking about, not just one video, but I think a few videos talking about different templates and how these templates are different from each other. Now, when you create a service management type of project, you have the option to select the new templates, and they all have names like service management or service project or external service project. So they are not really calling it as service desk. They are basically calling it as, when I say they, I mean Atlassian. So they are now using the word service management. But I want to know, is there any difference? I mean, I'm sure there is a difference, but how different these templates are. So let me select the IT service management. I think this one seems like the one that will have most of the configurations and most of the features, I believe. So let me give it a name, ITSM, or maybe I should call it as Jira Service. No. Jira Service Management ITSM. So I'll just use the one. I'll probably refer to it as Jira Service Management ITSM. And if needed, we can rename it. But we are, of course, trying to understand what this new template has to offer. So the very first thing that you will see here is, I hope it is not just the blank screen. There will be some kind of a wizard, I believe, to guide me and to let me do few configurations, some basic configurations in the beginning. But I can immediately see on the left-hand side, there are some differences, I believe. So I can see here that, of course, we have a queue. And if I click on the queue here, it will open the queue, which is nothing great, nothing unusual. It is same as before. You can create a new queue. And the thing that I wanted to basically check is these new links. So now you have direct links to, I believe, those issue types. I guess it will just open a separate queue within service request, within incidents, and so on. So this looks interesting, and I believe this is good, because if you want to just focus on incidents, you can click on incidents, and then you can go within incidents, and you can have open my incidents, and you can create a new queue within that particular incident. So I think it is like a sub queue, which was not really possible without any app earlier, especially on the server. But on cloud, you can now do it straight away. So can we add a new item here? We'll figure it out later on. So let us continue looking at what else we can do here. So we have a new section here called operations, and then you can click on services. So there are three options: services, alerts, and on-call. And I believe these are something to do with the Opsgenie. So definitely alerts and on-call, they will take me to Opsgenie, I believe. I don't really want to assume anything. I just want to take a look at these options one by one. So let's first take a look at services. So it says services used in setting up changes category show here. Services used in setting up the changes category show here. These give more context about the change, the risk involved, and who is responsible. Okay, so they're talking about change. Now you can add a new service. So we have a few options like create a service. So let me create a service here, and service one. I'm not very creative, sorry, but I'll just use number service one. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Let us select tier 2. Incident responders. So by the way, this service tier indicates how critical a service is to the operation of your business. So is it tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, or tier 4 maybe? So you can configure the tiers. I'm not sure if you can create more tiers from within this interface, or maybe if I go to the settings, I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out. But it is good to know that we can create these tiers. We can configure the service to a tier, and we can decide the incident responder. So this is of course something that has to do with Opsgenie. So we can definitely create a new team, and if I click on this link, because I don't really have at this stage, I don't really have Opsgenie instance. So will it let me create a new Opsgenie instance straight away, or do I need to set up and create my account on Opsgenie? I'm not sure. It is doing something. I think it is using my Atlassian ID, and it is basically taking me to the Opsgenie site. It will create an account for me, I believe. I think it has created an account for me, and it will do something. It is probably configuring few things. I'll come back to this page or maybe later on. But one thing that I'm not really sure at this stage is that do I need to, like, do they have an evaluation version? Do I need to pay, or do they have like a free tier, free service? I'll probably go to the Atlassian website to figure it out, because now you have the free option. I mean, you can configure Jira Service Desk, and these applications on cloud for free, of course, with few limitations. Do they have something similar on Opsgenie? I'm not sure. Let me check. So if I go to the products, and if I go to, I believe it was not free earlier. I never really spent too much time with Opsgenie, but I don't think it was. I don't think Opsgenie was free, but now it says on top, get it free. So I guess I will probably go back, and I think it will let me create a free trial, but I want to see the pricing option. Maybe they have something for free for 5 users. It says basic alerting and on-call management for smart teams. So good to know. Good to know that there is a free tier. And I believe when I clicked on that link, when I was adding the new service, it actually created this account for me, I guess. And when you're within Opsgenie, you have few things that you can do. You can add a team. You can also configure other things. We'll come back to Opsgenie. I think I was ignoring Opsgenie for a while, and I think I can't really ignore it now. I will definitely cover Opsgenie later on. But let me create a team first. So let us say if I have a team for maybe my incident responders, and I can add maybe myself. Can I search myself? Yeah, I can. That is good to know. So I am the admin. Yeah, I want to be admin. So let me just create a team. Can I add maybe more members? Will it bring people from my Jira instance? I don't think so. But you can create a team here, which is good to know. So I'm doing something basic, because when I have a team, I will then be able to use it in my Opsgenie configuration of service within my Jira Service Management project. So let us create a service from scratch again, because we were not able to. Service 1, I'm not very creative, again, tier 1. Let us select Opsgenie team, which is now coming up here. Incident responder, change approvers. I want maybe Jira administrators to be the change approvers. Repository. So I think it will bring the repositories from my Bitbucket, which is good to know. I think it has already done this integration for me. I can see here the the repository which I may want to select. I'm not sure if I should select it or not, but maybe I'll select my web server, one of the repository that I have. And this is a service related to the web server. Okay, so I think it is good because let us say you have to do a change, maybe you're fixing a bug, and for fixing a bug you need to maybe do some hotfix, so you can do it from within your not within your Jira Service Management, but you have the integration. So I believe these things were possible earlier, but I think now it is much more intuitive, and now I believe the Opsgenie part will also add more value. So let us create a service, and this looks good to me because now I have a service, and this service ID, don't worry about the ID, I'll make sure I will delete it. And I'm not sure if this ID is some kind of like a token that I need to hide. I have absolutely no idea how these things work on Opsgenie, but I can of course learn, and I can also share whatever I am learning. So we now have a service, and when we look at the service, you have the option to also add a relationship. So create a service structure by defining your services and the relationships between them. Okay, so basically this is something similar to, if you remember, if you're familiar with Insight. So when you are working with Insight, you have the option to basically configure your assets, and you configure your assets basically using a schema. And within a schema, you have different objects, and these objects can be linked, and they are usually linked. For example, if you have a host, that host can host basically different web servers. I mean, your host is related to web server, your web server is related to licenses, your licenses are related to users, and so on. And when you're looking at that relationship, it helps you in figuring out like the impact, for example. So let us create one more service. I want to create one more service here without being too creative. I'll use service 2, tier 2, and I may want to use the same team. I may want to select the same approver, and maybe I don't really want to attach it to a repository. So when you create a new service, can I link it to my service 1? Yes, it can be linked to the service 1, and it depends on it. Maybe that is what I want to do. Now there is also an option here to link it to a project. This is looking really good because let us say you're working on service 1, and your service 1, let us say, is web server, for example, because I have linked it to my web server repository in Bitbucket. I can also link it to a change management project. So I believe this will be a link to the development project. So when you raise a ticket, when you receive a ticket, something is not working, maybe on your Jira Service Management portal, you have the option to link it to your development project. And when I do that, when I click on that, I am basically taken to a totally new different option here called change management, and it says deployment pipeline. It will let me connect to my Bitbucket. I'll probably not do it right now. I will probably spend a bit more time understanding how it works, but the good thing is that you can do it, and you can do it within your Jira Service Management project. Not just the. I thought it will be like maybe a link to a Jira software project, but this makes sense. So basically, it says on top, ensure changes to your IT infrastructure and services occur in a safe and controlled manner. Change management helps you understand the risk and make informed decisions. So I will probably talk about this pipeline separately. And the good thing is that you have the option to basically take a look at your services and change management automation. So let us click on change management automation, and I'm probably doing a few things in advance. This is of course taking me to the automation, the automation rules on Jira. I'll probably not configure and worry too much about the rules at this stage, but I wanted to see how it works. So the good thing is that now you have the interface, like you have the option to do all these things all within your Jira Service Desk management project. So let us go back to the project, And let us take a look at the second option. So we looked at services, and we will also figure out how these things work together. I also, of course, need to see how it works together. I'll of course share with you guys. So when you click on, let me click on alerts, and when I click on alerts, it is again taking me to Opsgenie, and I believe it will let me configure alerts within Opsgenie. And if I go to my Opsgenie, I have the alerts option here. I can create a new alert, and this will be definitely linked to your tickets. The next option is on call, and again, all these options here that you see, they are basically coming directly from your Opsgenie. And this particular on call, basically your roster and basically the schedule is something that you can view within Jira Service Desk, within Jira Service Management. And if I go to Opsgenie and who is on call, it will reflect the same information within my Jira Service Desk. So this is something that is really good and handy, and I think these integration, this type of integration makes the usage of the tool really easy, especially if you are new to Jira Service Desk. I think, as I mentioned before, I don't really have a lot of experience configuring and using Opsgenie. I was in fact kind of ignoring it, but now with the introduction of Jira Service Management, I don't think I can ignore it anymore. I have to spend more time learning it, and also see how these things work together. So overall, I think it looks good. Of course, there are a few things that I want to explore further, and I will definitely share my findings. One thing that I want to do quickly before I end the video, I want to go to the project settings, and I want to see if things look similar or there is some new thing that I missed. So on top you have details, people summary, then you have issue types. We know about issue types, we know about request types as well. This one, change management, is something that we looked at briefly. So it will basically let you integrate with your development tools, like maybe you want to create a pipeline. And to be honest, I am not exactly sure how it will work, like what all it can do. I did look at the documentation, but I believe in trying things myself and getting my hands dirty. So let us take a look at, we will take a look at change management later on, but let us continue looking at what else we have here. So we have language support. So this is something, I don't remember this option earlier. There was an option to configure languages, but not within your project, I guess. So this is there for you now, and we'll worry about it later. I think I think you can let me select maybe English United Kingdom. I should be on United Kingdom English, but maybe I was on US. But when you add a new language, you can also configure the language translations here. We'll do it later, not right now. I want to quickly take a look at different options that we have. Now we have the option to, email request, customer notifications, widgets. I believe there is no change in it. There might be changes in these things that I'm not really aware of, but I need to go inside each one of them and take a look at those things to compare. But I think there is no reason to compare with Jira Service Desk now. We have to focus on what we have now. So widget is something that was there earlier, so let us ignore it for the time being. Then we have satisfaction settings, knowledge base, SLA. Do we have something with SLAs? Maybe there is something with SLA that I missed. So it says a new way to look at your SLAs. Okay, set up your SLAs more efficiently with a new view of goal. Or let me get rid of my face so you can take a look at the pop-up on the bottom right corner. So I think now it is a bit easier to create and configure SLAs. I think the interface is different. I think the functionality is same probably, but the way you create SLAs is slightly different. Earlier there used to be 3 columns, but now you have a start, pause, and finish. So I think this makes sense. If I maybe click on add SLA, do have those 3 columns on top. So I think it is more like vertical option now. It is something similar to what you do with automation rules, but it makes sense. Functionality wise, I think it will do the same thing, but the way you create SLAs is definitely, it looks same to me. Then we have automation, and we looked at automation, the link to automation rules, and we will definitely look at few automation rules that you can create and configure. What else do we have? So I think that is all we have. Nothing different here. I think the main difference with Jira Service Management was the integration of Opsgenie, and the way you create these things within your Jira Service Desk or Jira Service Management project. So, and the good thing is that now you can use Opsgenie for free. I don't think it was free. Maybe it was. I missed it. But I think if you're trying to use Jira Service Management project for the very first time, the good thing is that you don't have to sign up, I believe, because when I clicked on this link, it took me to Opsgenie instance, and I think it created an account for me, I guess for free. I will definitely explore Opsgenie and what all wonderful things we can do with Opsgenie, especially the integration with the Jira Service Desk or Jira Service Management, and I will definitely look at those features of alertings and how you can create your schedule and how those things are reflected here. It looks good to me. The first impression is definitely good. It was always possible to integrate Jira Service Desk with Opsgenie. Like you can there is an option to use webhooks, but now I think it is much more intuitive and much more easy to configure the alerting part. Like maybe you want, if you receive, let us say, an issue with high priority and very urgent, maybe you want to alert something, maybe you want to send the alert to Opsgenie, you can do that. You were always able to do it, but now I believe it should be very easy to configure. So we'll continue looking at these aspects of Jira Service Management, not Jira Service Desk, and I will definitely share my feedback. And if you want to do the same thing, of course, hopefully my videos will help you. Hopefully. So we'll continue looking at this Jira Service Management thing in a bit more detail, and that is all I wanted to share in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.